The Pittsburgh Steelers sit atop the AFC North with a 4-3 record, but cracks are showing in their foundation. Their defense, which carries the highest price tag in the NFL at $163 million per over the cap, has become a major liability instead of the championship anchor it was designed to be. When asked whether the issues stem from the scheme or its execution, head coach Mike Tomlin didn't mince words, as per ESPN NFL reporter Brooke Pryor on X. "We all have to own it. Certainly, you start with the schematics, man, because that's the leadership component of it, and certainly we'll be looking at everything that we're doing, man," Tomlin said. He added a sobering reality check about the team's progress. "Because some of these problems are somewhat repetitive and we're not getting better fast enough," Tomlin acknowledged. The numbers back up Tomlin's frustration. Despite fielding the most expensive defense in football, Pittsburgh ranks 29th in pass defense and allows 25 points per game. The unit has surrendered 30 or more points in 4 of 7 games this season. That kind of collapse hasn't happened in Pittsburgh since 2003. The defense features big money stars like TJ Watt, $23.3 million cap hit, Minkah Fitzpatrick, $22.8 million, and Cameron Hayward, $19.5 million. Yet opponents are shredding them with alarming consistency. The breaking point came during their recent 2-game skid. In Week 7, the Bengals dropped 33 points on them in a Thursday night shootout. Then came the Sunday night embarrassment against the Green Bay Packers, where the Steelers blew a 16-7 halftime lead and lost 35-25 at home. That defeat marked Pittsburgh's first home loss to the Packers since 1970, ending a 55-year streak. Tight end Tucker Kraft torched them for 7 catches, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns as the secondary fell apart in the second half. The defensive crisis has created a troubling imbalance. While Pittsburgh spends $163 million on defense, it fields one of the cheapest offenses at just $90 million. That ranks second lowest in the league, behind only the Seahawks. General manager Omar Khan built this roster around defensive dominance, banking on elite talent to carry them deep into the playoffs. Instead, the unit is delivering one of the worst returns on investment in recent memory. Something has to change when your defense costs nearly $28 million more than the second highest spender and still ranks low. Tomlin's admission that problems are repetitive signals deeper issues than just execution. The Steelers face the 7-1 Colts next in Week 9, a game that will test whether this expensive defense can finally deliver on its massive price tag or continue trending toward historic disappointment. It's no secret that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the market for a wide receiver, and that is not only based on the team's clear need for an adequate number 2 and more depth behind DK Metcalf. Reports have suggested Pittsburgh is making calls for a wide receiver addition, with The Athletic's Diana Rossini and ESPN's Adam Schefter both sharing that rumor. One team general manager Omar Khan should have his eye on is the New Orleans Saints, who could make wide receiver Rashid Shaheed available at the deadline. The Saints are attempting to re-sign Olave to a contract extension, and sources believe New Orleans would like to receive a third-round draft pick in a trade involving Shaheed, Schefter reported on Saturday. With the Steelers' need at wide receiver, and with the Saints seemingly open to dealing Shaheed, Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox predicts Pittsburgh will ultimately strike a deal with the Saints for the speedy wideout. The Pittsburgh Steelers, though, could use a field-stretching wideout. They've been making calls about receivers, according to Rossini. Prediction: Steelers make a trade for Shaheed at the deadline. The Steelers would almost certainly prefer to add Chris Olave, who is the better player and a potential long-term option given his contract runs through 2026. However, all indications are the Saints will hold on to Olave. Shaheed would not be a bad consolation prize, though. Shaheed can make plays all over the field, but he specializes as a deep threat who can take the top off a defense. He would immediately be Pittsburgh's second-best wideout upon arrival. Despite very shaky quarterback play, Shaheed has tallied 439 yards and 2 scores in 8 games. That yardage output would rank second on the Steelers behind Metcalf's 461 yards. There are a few potential problems with this trade, though. The first is the fact that Shaheed suffered an injury that forced his early exit in Week 8, so Pittsburgh has to make sure he's actually healthy first. The other problem is the Saints' reported price point. Based on his past production, Shaheed, who has never tallied more than 719 yards in a season, is not close to being worth a third-round pick, which is New Orleans' reported asking price. Instead, Shaheed should fetch a day 3 pick, and more specifically, probably a 5th-rounder. Of course, the Saints are asking for the highest price possible right now, but that should change as the deadline approaches, assuming the Saints are realistically considering trading the veteran receiver. If the Steelers can nab Shaheed for a 5th-rounder, Khan should pull the trigger. The Pittsburgh Steelers lost safety DeShon Elliott to injury during the Week 8 loss to the Green Bay Packers, and it appears to be the worst-case scenario. Elliott suffered a knee injury in the third quarter, and it was immediately apparent he may have sustained something significant. Elliott was clutching at his knee after it was rolled up on by Packers tight end Tucker Kraft, and he could not put any weight on it and had to be helped off the field before he was carted to the locker room. The NBC broadcast also revealed that Elliott was screaming in pain and had tears in his eyes, which only added to the pessimism for his injury. After the game, head coach Mike Tomlin did not provide specific details on Elliott's knee injury, but he did note that it's significant, which suggests it's going to be a long time before we see the safety on the field again. Mike Tomlin says they've got a couple significant injuries coming out of this game, including DeShon Elliott's knee injury, ESPN's Brooke Pryor reported. Tomlin revealed that defensive lineman Daniel Ekuele's knee injury is the other significant issue, and guard Isaac Seumalo has a pectoral strain. Elliott initially signed with the Steelers as a free agent in 2024. It wasn't thought to be a major signing at the time, but Elliott has proven to be a very valuable member of Pittsburgh's defense and has become one of the best moves general manager Omar Khan has made in his tenure. With Elliott on the shelf, the Steelers will have to rely on Chuck Clark and/or Jabril Peppers to pick up the slack next to Juan Thornhill.